Hey there, welcome back to Hardy Brothers Outdoors. This is Josh Hardy here. Today we're going to be doing another buyer's guide and we're going to be talking about the post hole digger. So Jason's not here today, we're just sitting here with the 2032R. In fact, we've only got one post hole digger and it's the PhD 100 from Frontier. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. As with every one of these episodes, we're going to start with understanding your use case. We're going to talk about the pricing of these. We're going to talk about things that you should ask your dealer when purchasing it. And we're going to talk about safety and negotiations. So let's get started. So in terms of use case, I've got a number of things that I wanted to accomplish with this. First and foremost, I've got a couple fences that I want to build to improve over what's currently there. I want to be able to dig piers, concrete piers for things that we're going to build with the sawmill wood. We will most likely set most of our posts above ground on concrete. So that's one of the big long-term uses that I had. And we've also got a lot of tree plantings that we're doing back on the Habitat Oasis and around the property. So we figured that this may help us with that as well. In terms of pricing and what did I look at when I purchased this, the main thing is I needed something in a hurry. Tractor Supply didn't have one. I had read issues in the past with Tractor Supply not having things like the shear pins or certain things. I've been to a lot of their stores and seen things sitting outside that have been there clearly too long, that they've gathered some rust. Now I have a lot of County Line products, so that's not why I didn't buy it. It really was that they didn't have anything. So I called Deere, they had this in stock, and I went with the 12-inch auger, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about things to ask. But let me tell you what I paid for it. So what I paid for it was about $710 for the post hole digger itself. The auger was like $260. And I've gone back to look at getting smaller augers, and they run about $260 as well. I even tried to get a County Line one to put in there, but the shear pins, sizes of the shear pins are very different, so it didn't work. So I'm stuck with the one 12-inch, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about considerations. So $708 plus $264. I had a 10% off coupon from our local dealership because they had changed ownership recently to Ag Pro, and so I was able to use that customer appreciation discount on there. So that's about the price. I believe the Tractor Supply one is quite a bit less, but I don't have the exact numbers, so you'd have to look those up. So things to ask your dealer before you purchase. You need to kind of understand what you're going to be using it for, what your soil types are like, what your tractor can handle. They set me up with the PhD 100. That would also go on the 1025R and probably could have gone up to the 200. I don't know why they recommended this one. I didn't even ask. I just assumed they were giving me the right one for the tractor. But I've seen people with the 2032R and the 2038R go to the PhD 200. So ask them what's the right size for your PTO output. These are not quick hitch compatible. You have to take the top link off to hook this up directly to the tractor. So it's a little bit of a challenge to maneuver it around. Ask them if they have a stand. I think they do make a stand. I didn't buy it, and you can see how I've got it parked here. I just used it the other day. I just kind of drilled a hole and set it there, and I cover it with a tarp. That's not how I want to keep it long term. I need to either build something or put it in there. So ask them what they have in terms of racks or dollies or something that this can be stored on, because it's kind of big and bulky. Ask them about the right size auger for the jobs that you think you're going to do. I went with a big auger, thinking I can always fill the hole more. Well, the bigger the hole, the less stable it is. So on my fence posts, I'm putting in 5.5-inch, round pine fence posts, and it's too big. They're just too much to backfill, and if you're using concrete, there's going to be a lot more concrete cost there. So I probably will get another one sooner. So think about what size is the most universal for your application. Yeah, I think that's the key things that I would ask before I buy. Okay, so safety. In terms of PTO, you've got a spinning PTO. Make sure you've got the cover on it. Make sure you've got the chains hooked up so you don't have any access to moving parts. We always, I don't care what anybody else says, and you can do what you want to do. but we always turn the tractor off when we hook up. And the other thing is, if you've got a mid mount, if you shift off of the rear PTO to the mid PTO, that allow that PTO gear to spin, which allows you to line things up a little bit easier. It takes some of the hassle away. But stay away from the PTO when it's moving. I don't let anybody go near the auger when it's spinning, so everybody needs to stay back. It also throws stuff, so as you're bringing it out of the hole, it's throwing dirt and rocks, so you don't want anybody behind the tractor, and you need to be aware of what's around you when you're doing that. So those are the key safety things that I think about when I use that. So let's go on to the final one, negotiations. So it's been a really interesting couple weeks. We're getting a tremendous amount of feedback on our videos right now. People are going out buying tractors and they're getting the deals that we've talked about. Jason, came in aggressively and said 19%. We've got people telling us that they've gotten 20%. We told you not to leave without a hat or a steering wheel knob. We've got people saying, I got the hat and the steering wheel knob. That was the final icing on the cake. And we call that nibbling, is getting those extra things. So in terms of this one, I didn't negotiate. I had a 10% off coupon, and frankly, I needed it, and I didn't buy it at the same time as the tractor. So one of our key tips on negotiation here is when you're buying your tractor, if you know that you're going to be using these attachments, especially if you have 0% and you can add more things in, it's going to change your payment a little bit, but get as much as you can up front and use that as leverage. A lot of times Deere will run a buy two implements, get a discount on them as well, so look for those sort of things. If you're going to shop with Tractor Supply or buy a King Cutter or something like that, keep an eye out for the coupons. So those are the key things that I would think about in terms of negotiations. But if you haven't seen our other buyer's guide videos, check them out. People are getting great deals. They're finding them very useful. We've got a playlist on those. We have a 1025R, a 2032R, and a 4052R, and the feedback's been really good. There's tractors in use videos, there's negotiations, there's tips, tricks. We've got all kinds of content now, and we've been going at this for a little bit over a year and having a great time doing it. So we really appreciate all of you and you joining us. We hope if you're finding this content valuable that you'll hit that like and subscribe button. If you really like the content that we're doing, you could help us out by buying something from one of our affiliate links found in the comments below or in the description. Those are no cost to you, so if you shop at one of those places, we get a small commission. Off of $100, we get $3. So it just helps us keep this channel free and keep us with quality cameras, quality software, all of that kind of stuff. It does take a lot of time and money to keep the channel going. So we appreciate any support that you have. Thank you so much for your time. Hit that like and subscribe. Tell a friend. If you know somebody that's looking at tractors, let them know. If you get a deal and you want to share it with us, let us know. We're going to do a video before long here about some of the success stories. So thanks a lot. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, outdoors is always in season. That's the theme of our channel, and we're going to be outdoors doing a whole lot more this year. Stick around.